Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm sharing a blind buy perfume haul. I've been on the hunt for new fragrances for summer. That way I can put together my top 10 best perfumes for summer 2021 list. I'm doing my best to incorporate as many new perfumes as possible. So I read about a couple of these online. They sounded really great, but I knew I wouldn't be able to smell them in store anyway. So I placed the order, and today we are going to unbox and discover them together. I will of course be sharing my first impressions. So let me share what I'm going to be unboxing with you today. This just arrived. This is from Kayali. It's their new Utopia Vanilla Cocoa 21. I ordered this last week from Sephora. It's their new fragrance, my first fragrance from the brand, and I'm excited because you guys have sent over so many recommendations from them. I also have this new MCM. I think it's just called the Mcm Eau De Parfum. It's their very first fragrance. I thought the packaging looked really cute, and when I read the notes, it kind of reminded me of Elixir from Roja, which has quickly become one of my favorites. The price was also really reasonable on this, and they had a deal going on at Bloomingdale's, so I took advantage. I also placed an order for this new Sicily. I was reading articles online about the best new perfume releases, and this one made several lists. I believe it's called Isiah Nui from Sicily. I think this is going to be more of an evening perfume. Cassiopeia from Tiziana Terenzi. Now this I did smell in person. So last week, 2 weeks ago, I smelled so many fragrances from the brand and I was torn between a couple of them. So this one isn't truly a blind buy. It was kind of sitting on the fence actually. I also have Blossom Love from Amouage. This was sent over from Twisted Lily. The rest I purchased myself. This has been a very popular recommendation. You guys have said you have to try this. It's incredible. This one I did unwrap and I sprayed it on a blotter card. It was a couple weeks ago now and it had just arrived. It was still kind of warm from transit, so I didn't really get a true first impression. So we're going to discover this again together. I want to begin by unboxing the Kayali Utopia Vanilla Cocoa 21 because I think in terms of blind buys, this hopefully is the safest bet. It sounds really good, so I was going to look up the notes, but they're right on the back of the box. Pear, jasmine, coconut, sandalwood, vanilla bourbon. I love coconut. I love vanilla. So Utopia Vanilla Cocoa just sounds right up my alley. I think this will probably be the perfect first purchase from the brand. And if you have any other favorites, let me know down below. I have a growing list that I need to check out. I don't think they have these in my local Sephora. There are so many Sephoras in South Florida. I really need to do some research and figure out where I can go and maybe be able to smell the entire line. I believe there was only one size available. I think it was maybe $95, and I did have a $40 Sephora note to put towards it, so it came out to closer to $50, $60 total. First impression of the packaging, I think it looks really pretty. For the price, it looks very luxurious. I love this little jewel up at the top, and then this really pretty kind of dusty rose gold. This light rose gold color is really pretty, and the mirrored bottle it looks really nice. It's kind of translucent. You can sort of see through it, but not really. Very pretty packaging. Ooh, let's try it. Will this be my new summer scent? Let's find out. I like that fine mister. It's really pretty. It's really nice. I'm trying to think of what it reminds me of because it's sort of triggering a scent memory, but I can't quite put a finger on it yet. Definitely smells like coconut and vanilla. Maybe it's Beach Walk from Replica. It almost smells a little bit like Fragrance du Bois Eau Jaune Intense. Wow. Okay, now I have to do a comparison. I definitely get a little sweetness right away, but it's almost instantly vanilla coconut. And that's really the main notes that you pick up. smells like summer, it smells like the beach, tropical vacation, definitely. I like it enough to try it on the skin, so I'm going to spray it on my left hand and let it dry down. That way I could revisit later. It's nice. I guess maybe my expectations were just built up so high because I had heard so many incredible things about the brand. Not really mind-blowing. Mine is still intact, but that's okay. I have other fragrances here to try. Right now, I would give it a 7.5 out of 10. So I'm going to move on to another fragrance. I'm going to save the Sicily because I think this one is going to be more evening appropriate. So let's turn to this Mcm Eau De Parfum. I've been really excited to unbox this because everything I read was positive. Some commenters even said it was their new signature scent. They loved this perfume, and it is new for summer this year. So let's go ahead and unwrap. It has a very unique bottle. It comes in this mini MCM backpack, which is very on brand. I haven't heard anybody talking about this perfume, but I read a lot about it. Mcm Eau De Parfum is an amber floral fragrance for men and women, launched in 2021. It has raspberry, apricot, peony, violet leaf, and jasmine. Base notes are ambroxan, vanilla, sandalwood, and moss. Doesn't that sound promising? I love the idea of raspberry and apricot, peony and jasmine, ambroxan, vanilla, sandalwood, and moss. These are all notes that I traditionally love in perfumes. In fact, the perfumes that I love the most out of all of the other fragrances in my collection usually sound something like that. I am slightly nervous that it's described as unisex because typically when they say a fragrance is unisex, it just smells really masculine in my opinion. But based on the notes, I think the notes sound pretty feminine, so let's see. The bottle just sprays right here on top. And I did end up having to go with the larger size, but they had some sort of department store discount, so I saved money in the end. Hopefully I like it. Ooh. Ooh. I got a little whiff. Mmm. It's nice. Wow, I really like it. I get so much raspberry. It is very raspberry apricot, but it's not overly sweet or feminine. Now that I'm smelling it, I think it could be unisex in the best way possible. It's really pretty. It smells kind of, I don't want to say light and fresh, but it is a bit fresh. You get fruitiness, but then I almost immediately get that moss coming through. That is just too light. I need to spray it on the skin. So I'm going to spray this on my right arm. I want as much surface area as possible. Wow. I like it. I had no idea what to expect from this fragrance. It's their first fragrance after all, so it's hard to pinpoint their style, but it does smell really good. My only complaint that I would say right now is that it's a little bit light, and I don't know if that's because I just put my nose in this really bourbon vanilla fragrance over here with the Kayali. I don't know if it's my minty lip gloss that's kind of throwing everything off. My senses are overstimulated at the moment, but the actual perfume smells really good. Kind of reminds me of what I would imagine their store would smell like on the inside if they scented their boutique. Such a shame because it smells really good, but right now it just smells so light. I feel like it's already disappeared. It's as if they took a raspberry, kind of darker berry, fruity perfume, but then added a unisex twist. It kind of has everything that you would like out of a men's fragrance, but then made it a little bit sweeter and fruitier. I think this would smell really nice on a man and a woman. When my husband comes home from work, I'm going to get his opinion on that one. When I only smell this arm, it smells so faint, but then when I smell this hand and then I go back and smell the arm, then I can really smell it because the two perfumes are so different. We are off to a really strong start, but I'm going to go ahead and unbox this new Sicily. Isiah Nui. I picked up the 1 ounce bottle of this, and it is an Eau De Parfum. I pulled up the information. It says Isiah Nui was launched in 2021, of course. Top notes are blackcurrant, cardamom, and mandarin orange. Middle notes are rose, freesia, and magnolia. Base notes are patchouli, labdanum, vanilla, and ambroxan. Now this bottle is very beautiful. I think it looks very classy. It feels weighted. Even though this is a smaller size, it feels pretty heavy. And it almost looks like a little sculpture, like a little piece of art. So I love this bottle. We're 2 for 2 so far. Let's see if I can go 3 for 3. Oh, wow. Very strong. It's so pretty. Definitely evening, potentially special occasion. I just get so much rose. It's an evening rose fragrance. It's so elegant. Kind of reminds me of Rose Prick, but a more sophisticated version. I don't want to say more sophisticated. Rose Prick is beautiful. It's one of my favorites, especially from Tom Ford. But it has maybe a touch, teeny tiny pinch of powder, which kind of softens the fragrance. Whereas this one almost has a bit of a green bite to it. But very similar. I'm running out of body parts, but I'm going to spray this one on the arm. Since I sprayed the Kayali up here, I still have... It is so strong. I sprayed way too much. 1 spritz is really all you need. Wow, it's powerful. I get a lot of the mandarin. There's almost like a citrusy, zesty note right away. It smells like rose and oranges. Rose, orange, and incense. Those are really the 3 notes that are sticking out to me at the moment. As it dries down, I'm getting a lot of the patchouli. I wish I was getting more of the rose. It has a little bit of a green bite to it, which I don't necessarily love. I really like the perfume. I think I need to give it a little time. Of the 3, right now the Sicily is my least favorite. Not what I would have expected. They are so different. It's kind of funny because I was looking for summer fragrances. I would not put these perfumes in a category together. They are so different from one another. Beautiful in their own way, but very different. The Sicily is really beautiful. It's so elegant. It just smells a bit more serious and more mature. Great for fall, maybe a special occasion. Not what I would really want in a fun summer perfume. It's not really the vibe I was looking for whenever I was shopping around. Still really nice. I do think that is to be expected from Sicily. I didn't anticipate it would be a light, fresh, fruity, tropical type of perfume. I knew it was going to be more sophisticated, more along the elegant, classy lines, and it certainly is. Which is why it is so different from the coconut vanilla. I wish there was just a little something more, a little je ne sais quoi, a little pop of something that really stood out. Because right now it's really beautiful. I think it is sort of similar to Rose Prick. Not necessarily a replacement. I don't know if it really does anything for me that's different than Rose Prick. Next, I'm going to unbox Cassiopeia. This is from Tiziana Terenzi. I visited the counter at Saks Fifth Avenue the other day, and I must have smelled at least 10 perfumes, and that was actually my second trip. So I smelled a bunch of fragrances, kind of marked down the ones that I really loved. I took a picture with my phone, and then I returned a couple days later, and I thought in my mind I knew exactly what I wanted, but they actually had more fragrances to smell. I visited 2 different Saks counters. So then I was confused again, and I ended up going with Cassiopeia, and I really love it. It's a beautiful perfume. This is not new, by the way. I want to say this is maybe 2013. It's been out for a couple years. It just spoke to me the most at the time, but then whenever I got back, I was sort of on the fence. So let me just go ahead and unbox it. I will spare you the story. There are so many incredible fragrances from this house. It's a lot of fun to discover their fragrances because it's one of those brands that if you're really into niche fragrances, you know about them, but they're not widely available. I think they're very different from what you're used to smelling from other brands. And if you had the opportunity to visit a counter, especially if they have somebody knowledgeable working behind the counter, it's such a treat because you can really have a discovery moment, kind of go through all of the different fragrances that they carry. So many hidden gems that are well known within the fragrance world, but not really well known to the general public. So you can find one of those really incredible niche perfumes that will make you stand out in a crowd. That's what I love about the brand. These little booklets fell out when I was unboxing the fragrance, but you get a lot of information. So Cassiopeia is part of the Luna collection. It is an extrait de parfum. And then you get this little booklet, which is kind of like a fragrance encyclopedia for the brand. And I flipped to Cassiopeia. It has a lot of information, the story, the inspiration. I'm going to spare you reading that entire paragraph, but top notes are passion fruit, lemon, cassis, and fern. Middle notes are carnation, lily of the valley, rosa tea. Base notes are sandalwood, fava tonka, and musk. Just like Sicily, I think the bottle looks like a piece of art. They're so ornate, really gorgeous. I feel like you're getting your money's worth. You know, the presentation, all of the details that they put into it are really incredible. Very luxurious. Let's see if I still like it. I hope I do. It was expensive. So good. I made the right choice. Just a beautiful perfume. Even though it's not new, to me, this is what a summer perfume smells like. It's bright, it's happy, it's kind of fruity floral, almost tropical, but it still smells very elegant and elevated. And I like that it has this smooth creaminess. There's a little vanilla in the dry down. Almost like a Giorgio Armani My Way in that it's kind of fruity floral immediately, but then there's this creaminess to it. Kind of reminds me of this. Yeah, I love this. This is the type of perfume that you could wear every single day in Miami or a hot climate. It's just light and pretty. You smell incredible. You smell unique, which is hard to find. Okay, now I'm happy with my choice. Now that I've smelled it again, I think it smells incredible. This is a very delicious perfume. I don't have anything on this hand, so I'm going to spray Cassiopeia. I can't get over this bottle. I think that is so beautiful. And the very last perfume I have today to unbox, this is Blossom Love from Amouage. This was sent to me complimentary from Twisted Lily Boutique. As I'm sure you guys know, I do have an ongoing coupon code and partnership with them. If you use the code Erin10 at checkout, you'll receive 10% off your order on anything site-wide. Well, I asked them to send this over because so many of you guys recommended this to me. You said it was so special and I had to try it. So I did. I unboxed it, but I am going to spray it again. Because this one is one of those fragrances that I think maybe takes a little time to appreciate. I don't know. Let me go ahead and spray. I've ran out of room, so now I'm going to just spray on the blotter. When I first spray it, there's something that is so harsh that I really don't like. But I can still smell the cherry blossom that I love. And it smells a little bit smooth and powdery. But there's just something about that initial bite that really turns me off. But I think the beauty is truly in the dry down of this perfume. And see, now I'm starting to really love it. If you love cherry blossom, if you love powdery perfumes, I think you will really like this. It's not for everybody, which surprised me because I received so many recommendations and people were saying how amazing it was. And I've heard a lot of rave reviews. I kind of thought it was going to be a crowd pleaser. I think this is one that is going to be very polarizing. I could see people loving it. I could see people really disliking this perfume. What is your experience with Blossom Love? Let me know down in the comment section. I'm very curious because now that I've heard so many great things about it, I wonder if there are people who are like me that are kind of sitting somewhere on the fence. Blossom Love launched in 2017. Top notes are heliotrope and bergamot. I think it must be the heliotrope that really throws me off. It's that biting, almost bitter, kind of harsh green note that I don't really like. So I almost have to wait until that top note dissipates a little bit before I appreciate the fragrance. And then the middle notes are amaretto and cherry blossom, which I love. Ylang Ylang and rose. Base notes are tonka bean, vanilla, suede, and amber. Everything else sounds amazing. It's just that top note that irks me. There's just something about it. I honestly thought this was going to be a lot scarier than it was. I usually do not blind buy perfumes. This is my first blind buy perfume haul. It won't be my last because this one went so well, but typically I always recommend trying a sample, trying it on your skin. Don't just go off of the notes or read reviews because fragrance is so personal. But we did try a lot of really nice fragrances today, so let's quickly do a little recap. Now that the fragrances have had a little time to settle on my skin, I'm going to go through each one, starting with this Kayali Utopia Vanilla Cocoa 21. I think I originally gave this a 7.5. I really like it. There's nothing bad about it. It smells very strong, so I think it's going to have a lot of projection. It will probably last a really long time. If you love vanilla and coconut, I think this will be amazing for you. It's just a bit simple. It depends on what you're looking for. If you want something that's just kind of fun for summer, I think you will really like this. But if you are looking for something that is elevated, something sophisticated for date nights or special occasions, you might find that this smells a little bit, just a little bit cheap. You know, it's very powerful, but not luxurious, in my opinion. Now, this Mcm perfume, this is really the dark horse of the entire video. If somebody had asked me before I started to film which one of these fragrances would smell cheap or could potentially be cheap smelling, I probably would have guessed this one because the bottle is very fun, but it could be seen as a bit gimmicky and, you know, they're not necessarily known for their perfume. It's their first fragrance. Who knows? You know, expectations were very low for this fragrance, but I think it smells really good. Now, my one complaint is that it's a little bit light, and I have smelled quite a few things, so I'm going to give it another chance. I'm going to try it maybe tomorrow or in the next few days. I will try it by itself and see how long it wears. If it doesn't last, then it's definitely not worth it. But if it lasts and I can still smell it on myself after a couple of hours, I will hold on to that and I will highly recommend it. Then we have Isiah Nui from Sicily. I really like this perfume. I'm kind of sitting on the fence because as much as I really love it, I think it smells so similar to Rose Prick from Tom Ford. I just sort of feel like I'm duplicating something that already exists within my collection. It's a much lower price point than Rose Prick, so good to note for the future. Doesn't really say summertime, in my opinion. I would probably reserve this for fall winter. Kind of unsure on whether or not to keep it. I'm just trying to think in the future, will I actually wear it? You have to be honest with yourself. We trick ourselves because of course it smells good, but does it smell good enough? That is the real question. Will I wear this perfume if I keep it? I'm just not sure at the moment. Now, Cassiopeia, this is one that I am absolutely going to wear, and I keep getting whiffs of it. I'm kind of having a fragrance throwdown between Cassiopeia and the coconut vanilla. They're the two strongest fragrances for sure. Every time I move, I just get a whiff of one or the other. This bottle is beautiful. I love this fragrance. It's right up my alley. This fragrance was made for me. This perfume was love at first sniff when I tried it at the counter a couple weeks ago, and sure enough, I absolutely love it. This is just my style of perfume. Whenever I smelled it, it was like, yes, this just speaks to me. It's a little bit fruity, a little bit floral. kind of the perfect summery daytime perfume, but then it has this underlying creaminess. It's not too much, it's not too vanilla. It's not like the vanilla coconut at all. It's more elevated, more sophisticated, definitely more of a niche luxury type of fragrance. You can just tell whenever you smell it, it smells expensive. It's not new, even though it's new for me, but this will most likely be one of my go-to perfumes this summer. Cassiopeia is beautiful. I highly recommend trying it out if you go to a counter. I think this is one of those fragrances that has mass appeal. I struggle to think of somebody not liking this perfume. That completes today's Blind Buy Perfume haul. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it and you liked hearing my first impressions of these fragrances. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Leave me your comments, questions down below. I love reading your recommendations, so if you have any new discoveries, any other fragrances that you would like me to try, let me know down below in the comments section. As always, I will be linking everything mentioned. Everything on my face will be down below in the description box for your convenience. And for more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell.